Hi, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. I'm your host Tracy, and today are you leaving now? You're a bit annoyed. Today I almost had a co-host, and that is Tasha, and it looks like she's giving you the tail end, and she's maybe going to jump away and go somewhere else. So, as I said, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. My name's Tracy. I am Tracy RR on Ravelry, and I am Comfy Red Couch on Instagram. And you found my channel, so this is the Comfy Red Couch. I am really excited. This is my second episode. Last week I decided to try this out, and over the week I was able to have 14 viewers, or 14 views, and 4 subscribers. So that was thrilling. Thank you so much for those people who watched in the an otherwise unknown entity, and thank you if you did subscribe as well. So I hope that you keep coming back. So I certainly welcome all new viewers, and hope that you're going to enjoy what you're going to see today. I've had a busy week. I started an online course. I much prefer face-to-face courses, so it's an upgrade. It's not really an upgrading course, it's a qualification course, and so I'm taking it online, and I'm trying to figure out my Blackboard, and it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm getting used to it. There are 8 other people in the course, and so we're just starting our discussions and the introductions and everything like that. So that will be a challenge. That'll certainly keep me busy, interrupt my knitting time. I like the face-to-face courses because at least I can sit and work on a sock or something mindless, which you can't do as easily as when you're in an online course, because you have to be using your fingers to type. I am going to have to do like a listening to a book, and as part of the course, and so I have downloaded an audiobook, and hopefully I'll be able to knit while I listen to the book, and then I'll be able to do the assignment based on that. So that's something, I guess, that's keeping me busy, and will until mid-June, I think. So around Toronto, it's been very mixed weather. We've had rain some days, sunshine other days. You are a silly cat. You want to come on? This is I call her my freak cat. She's very jumpy. She's in a bit of a mood today. So, Tasha, want to come up? No? Okay. Anyway, so, as I said, weather's been a bit crazy. We had rain on Wednesday and Thursday, I think, and it rained and rained and rained, and of course, when you're going outside, that's when it starts to rain the heaviest. And yesterday was really lovely. Friday was windy, very windy, but cold. I don't know if you can hear, I've got wind chimes on the other side of the camera. You can see that we've got in the reflection on the picture. I live in a very old house, and so we've got stained glass that you can see there, and so the window's just sort of right behind where the iPod is set up, and so there are wind chimes. So when it's windy, it's of course stopped now, but you might be able to hear the chimes in the background. They're one of my favorite things in this place is listening to the chimes when the wind's going. The other thing that's been happening around here, I have 2 boys. One is 7, one is 15, and they've been both working on different musicals. So one is going around the house singing Fiddler on the Roof songs, that's the 7-year-old, and the other one is nonstop singing West Side Story songs. So it's been a bit of an interesting week music-wise, not the traditional teenager music you expect that you would hear, and definitely not the traditional 7-year-old music you would expect either. I got the question, "Mommy, how much does a matchmaker make?" And so that was kind of a cute thing to have to answer. I don't know. So if anyone knows how much a matchmaker makes, maybe you can message me on Ravelry, and I can let my youngest know how much a matchmaker makes if that's what he would like to do. So this past week, I've been busy knitting, but unfortunately these are things I can't show you at this moment. So I did show you the yarn last week for a gift that I'm making my son's teacher, and so I can't show that yet. And I also I showed you the yarn all in the skein, and now this is it all balled up, and as you can see, it is much smaller than what it should be because these are all knit up, and these made a pair of socks that were for a test knit, so I can't show those either. But this is Molly Weasley, the Nora George, and oh my gosh, I loved using this yarn. It just, the colors were really fun. When I showed it as a skein last week, and then on Sunday afternoon, evening, I went and wound it up, and so when I undid it, I was amazed that there were pinks in there. I thought it was going to be just greens, yellows, and orange, very fall colors, but there was this gorgeous pink, and like hot pink, and there were little bits of purple, and really took me by surprise. And so I was really thrilled with that. And then as I was knitting, I just was I couldn't put this, I couldn't put these socks down because they were just, you know, every moment that I had that was mine. So whether that was just before work started, or lunch hour, or when I was in the waiting room at the doctor's office for my allergy shots, I was knitting away, knitting away, knitting away. And so last night I finished a pair of socks. So kind of fun. I really, and oh, I loved working with the Nora George yarn. It was so soft and just amazing to work with. So if you ever have a chance, I would highly, highly recommend. The other thing that I'm working on, as I said, is a gift, and it's also maybe a test knit for something. So I might be able to show you on Star Wars Day. So we'll see. But one thing I have caught is the sewing bug. I used to love to sew, and so when I was in grade 9 at my high school, I was given a pants license. Everyone else had to sew skirts, but I was actually one of the more skilled at sewing. There were a couple of us, and we got pants licenses, and so we were allowed to make pants. And so I guess just from watching some of the podcasts, I've been looking at all the beautiful sewing projects and just wanting to sew. And so I'm going to try to do that. I have a bit of uneasiness about sewing, and there's a bit of a story behind it, because I love sewing, I really do. But when I was expecting my first, so that's Isaac, we were expecting a couch to be delivered to our house, and they never did deliver it. They got a really nasty letter after that. It wasn't nasty, but it was sad. Anyway, so what ended up happening was we were expecting a delivery, and we had, not Tasha, the one who's here now, but we had another cat, Gordy. And so Gordy was a bit skittish as well, and so we put him into the guest room, or it was, I guess, it was more like a family room, and but guests would stay there when we had people over. Anyway, so that's where my sewing machine was set up, and I had been doing lots of projects, and shut the door because I didn't want the cat to get out of the house, and I didn't want him to get freaked out because we had people coming in and they would be having to leave the door open. And so the sewing machine was set up, and when I came back to get him later, and very upset that the couch was not delivered because it was a pull-out couch, and we were hoping that we could have guests stay on it if we needed to have people stay over after Isaac was born. And so I went back, and the thread was had been pulled off the sewing machine and was around the room. And a couple days later, Gordy started to get really sick, wasn't eating, and it turns out that he got a hold of some of the thread, chewed it, and it got tied around his stomach. So it was a very, very expensive lesson. He did have the operation, and he was fine and lived for many years after that. But I get a little bit worried about sewing now, and especially when there's a cat in the house, and worried about having threads. So my sewing machine is still in the box. We've since moved houses at that point, and it is in the box. It's in my room up on the 3rd floor. I've got like a nice knitting room up there, and it's there, it's in the box. And so my goal this week is to get it out of the box. That's one goal. My second goal is to wash one of the materials and iron one of the materials that I'm going to show you that I'm going to make something with. And if I can get to it, because it is going to be a busy week ahead, I'd like to get a few of the pieces, if not all of the pieces, cut out. So we'll see how that goes. So I do get nervous about sewing because of that story. And that was, well, Isaac's now 15. So I haven't, and I love to sew, I really do, but I just haven't done it because of that really horrible experience. The company that was delivering the couch, after they did get my letter, they gave us a nice credit towards something in the store. So, but it was still, as I said, a very expensive lesson to learn not to leave thread around cats. So anybody who has a cat and a sewing machine, make sure you pull off the thread and put it somewhere, especially if your cat's a curious one who likes to get into things. So, as I said, lesson learned. So anyway, I have caught the sewing bug. I have some lovely material that I'm happy to show to you. I saw these. I'm just going to show you a couple of the things I chose out. I did get a couple more than this, but these are the ones that really made my heart sing. So I did pick up a couple of patterns. So I picked up a Sewaholic Davy pattern, so for a dress. Funny, I have the pants license, but I'm going to make a dress. So I'm not sure. I think I might do the top one right here, so it's a little bit more flary. I also have some Vogue Vintage patterns that I bought a few years ago when I caught the sewing bug, but didn't get the sewing machine out of the box, and so I never really got around to it. So the next one is a McCall's pattern, and I just thought it was so cute. I love this one, so I'm going to make this one. But I want to show you these two materials that I picked up. This one, I saw it, it was on sale, and it's a nice sort of beautiful, it's cotton, it's 100% cotton, but it's a little bit heavier, so it's not quite as see-through as some white cottons can be. But I loved the pattern on this, and I thought it would make a beautiful summery dress, and so that will hopefully be showcased at some point in the near future, not in 10 years from now. So that's one of my goals, is over the summer to maybe get that one done so I can wear it. The next one that really made my heart sing, oh, I love this one, is, I love this color green. I've always loved this sort of limey color green. So just this, got a funny shadow there. This lovely sort of fun green and aqua print. I still have to figure out my buttons, but this one is going to be that dress. Won't that be so fun? So that's what I have planned, and so this is the material that hopefully next week will be washed, will be ironed and cut out, some of the pieces cut out. Maybe even I'll get to some of the sewing, and I'm going to go with a green thread that matches perfectly. It's like a yellowy green, so the thread's going to be a bit of a, not blue, green, so kind of fun. Only have two choices really, and so those are the two patterns that I've picked up, and I did, as I said, I got some other materials, but I've got a few other things to show you, so I didn't want to totally overload with the material. So I guess right now I'm a material girl, so that's we'll see how that's going, and oh, I can just see this becoming a very, I know what my knitting, like my yarn stash is like, so I don't want to get too much fabric either. There's only so much time in the day. I wish I had so much more time, because I would love to do all of the crafts. I would love to do my knitting, and I'd love to do my spinning, and I'd love to do my sewing, but sometimes work gets in the way. And I do enjoy my job, but sometimes I just wish I had that little bit more time. So anyway, as I said, that's going to be hopefully happening in the next week. And then the beautiful flower pattern will be more of a late spring, early summer, seeing how things go, and we'll go from there. So, so that was my Material Girl segment. I'm going to move on to It's a Sockness. And so I don't have, at this moment, any works in progress, and I can't show you the sock that just came off, but I'll tell you a little bit about It's a Sockness. Emily of Viola Yarns on the Ravelry discussion group was writing about socks, that knitting socks, it can become a sickness, but the problem is her spelling mistake was It's a Sockness. And so the funny thing is that every time I type in sock, it autocorrects to sick. So I'm always having to go back and make sure I haven't told somebody I'm knitting up six. So I did ask Emily if I could use It's a Sockness as my my segment, and she happily agreed. And so this segment will be called It's a Sockness. So at this moment, I do not have a pair of socks on the needle. I do like to have on the needles. I do like to have socks on the needles, but I'm going to be casting a pair on because I like to take them to work with me and work as I can. And on Mondays I go for allergy shots, so it gives me, I have to sit for an hour, half an hour after I finish my shots, just to make sure I haven't had a reaction. And so I like to bring a sock with me that I can work on. So this is what is going to be cast on sometime this afternoon. And this is Life in the Long Grass, and the colorway is Starboard. And so these are going to be my April socks. And I'm not sure that I'll have them done by the end of April, but I will try my best. We'll see what else happens. And so I got this skein, I just wound it up last night, from Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. And so in the summertime, we went to London. We met Helen and her two girls for lunch. I gave Helen some City Girl, which she's knitting up, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to also knit up the skein that she gave me. And so this is Life in the Long Grass, Starboard. Kind of a bit of a, I don't know how to describe it. So my youngest, Nathaniel, he is completely obsessed by the Titanic. And of course the Titanic sank in April, so I don't know what to name these. So he's watched the Titanic movie. I'm not really quite sure how appropriate it was for him to watch that, but he's watched it, and he will sit on the couch and do whatever he's doing, and he will hum the songs from Titanic. And then he'll talk to Siri on his iPod, and he will say, "Siri, how many people died on the Titanic?" And then Siri will tell him the number. And then one day he said, "Siri, how many men died on the Titanic?" And Siri came back, "That is an interesting question." So he is a little bit obsessed. So I'm thinking I might make myself a pair of socks and then make him some April socks as well, because it's just it's called Starboard, and it's such a stormy looking, like April showers type of, or the seas, that I may have to kind of have a bit of a Titanic theme title, but I don't want it to be disrespectful. But any thoughts? If you have any thoughts, certainly message me on Ravelry, Tracy RR on Ravelry. I need a good name for my socks. I don't know. I didn't tell you the name of the Molly Weasley socks, so as I said, can't show you the picture, but I can tell you the name of them, and it's Whoops, I Stepped in Some Flue Powder. No, Whoops, I Stepped in Flue Powder, from, of course, throwing in the chimney in the Weasley house, and they were able to get to wherever they needed to get through flue powder or through the chimney system, rather than any other having to fly on the broomsticks or walk there, fly in a car, whatever. So that one will be kind of fun. So anyway, if you can think of a fun name for Titanic socks, but not really horrible. Oh, I don't know. It's a bit of a Nathaniel's Titanic. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I will be knitting, is socks in this. So, and oh, and what I will be using one of my favorite patterns, which is Emily's Favorite Socks, and they're just a very a simple 3x1 rib sock, and just really a nice pattern to follow, so I enjoy using that one. It's probably one of my favorite patterns for socks. So that's what I will be doing, Emily's Favorite Socks. So let's move on to the next segment, and this is going to be my favorite things, because I have no finished objects that have just come off the needles that I can show, so I'm going to show some favorite objects, finished objects that are some of my favorites that have been off the needles for a while. So the first one is kind of a lucky break for me. This is my summer tide shawl that I made, and this is made from, do I have it the right way? Yes. So I'll give you a nice little close-up of it. So the lace, and so this is made from skein, and it's the merino cashmere fingering blend, and this color here is Tuscany, and this color here is Inkstone. And this is, as I said, it's the Summertide MCal from 2015 that Helen designed. And I did knit this, but then I gifted it to my sister. So this is my sister's shawl, and she was over yesterday and she forgot it here. So I thought, you know what, perfect way to show you a piece of knitting that I have done in the past, and she wears it a lot. She loves it. So when she told me that she loved it, I had to give it to her. So that's one. So this one is, I titled it Summer Fling in Tuscany. So because I give all my finished objects have names. So this one's Summer Fling in Tuscany, and just mainly because the yarn was called Tuscany, the main color. So the next thing I'm going to show you, I have no idea why this pattern isn't more popular. I love this pattern. It is a crochet pattern, but it is one of my absolute favorite things. And this one is called Loopy Love at First Sight, and it is the Old Rose Wrap, which is a free pattern on the Loop website, and I absolutely love it. And it can be worn like 10 different ways. It's really kind of neat. So it's got the buttons, and I've just used like a mother of pearl type of button here. It's a little bit shiny. So it has the buttons on this side here, and you keep going along, and then there are buttonholes. So there's one right there that go along this side. And then on the other side, so here's the buttonholes that are on this side, and over here there are buttons, and then buttonholes over here, so that you can wear it as a shrug, or you can wear it, you can sort of put it on and put it a little bit asymmetrical and do up some buttons. You can wear it, if you haven't seen this pattern, you have to go on to Ravelry and look up Old Rose Wrap, and just the model looks gorgeous in it as well. But they wear it sort of like a, as I said, as a shrug on the arms, and then she also wears it where it's almost like not like a jacket sort of. So it does up a little bit in the front, and it wraps around in the back. So sort of like a oops, have I got in a funny way. So it does up in the front and then sort of wraps under the arms and does up in the back. So it sort of looks much nicer on her than on me, but especially right now while I'm trying to do this and sit. It's a standing kind of thing. Anyway, do have a look at that pattern, and this, as I said, this is one of my favorite projects that I've ever made. And for it, I've used Tannis Fiber Arts. That's when my local yarn store used to carry Tannis. Now you have to buy it online. It's beautiful yarn. And this is the Blue Label fingering. And the dark color is truffle, and my light pretty pink flowers are pink grapefruit, which I think has got to be my favorite colorway of all time. I love this colorway. And I know there's other pink grapefruits, but the Tannis one is my absolute favorite. So definitely worth a look at that pattern. Free is always good, and if it's not a difficult crochet pattern, it's what it is really is granny squares. So here's a granny square, and then you just keep making granny squares and you attach them as you go along, and so that the ends have the two colors, but all of the granny squares in between, let's see if I can, let me put all of the granny squares in between are connected in the main color. So definitely worth a look on Ravelry, and as I said, free is always good. I used 3 skeins of the truffle and 1 skein of the pink grapefruit. This button band was supposed to be in the truffle, but I started running short and there were no more skeins left at the yarn store. So I decided to put in the pink, and you know what? I actually I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So it is large, but fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And as I said, one of my absolute favorite patterns. I just wish I liked to crochet a little bit more. I do have yarn to make a second. I've had yarn for that second for a few years now. So hopefully I will eventually get to making a second, because as I said, I really do love this one. The next one on my list is the one I am wearing, and this one is called, I've titled it, I'll Get You My Pretty, and mainly I love the color. The color is, oh, I love it, to die for. So this is Hunter is the colorway, and this is Chasing Rainbows by Boo Knits, and it's very, very long and has lots of little details. It has beads on it, and Isaac, my 15-year-old, helped me choose out the beads. I don't know if you can see it okay. I don't know if it's focusing or not. Oops. There we go. So he thought the metallic beads rather than a shiny bead would be a little bit more fun. I think after I finished it, I wished I had had more of a shiny bead, although I have to say they are little, like they're all different sort of colors, where there's some beads are blue and some are like a bluey green. They're lovely beads. They're not as blingy as I would like them to be, but they are what they are, and I'm not going to pull it back to switch the beads. They are, as I said, they are lovely. I don't know if you can see the different colors of each bead. Hard to see. So anyway, so this is Chasing Rainbows. I'll Get You My Pretty is my title for it, and Hedgehog Fibers Merino Silk in Hunter was the colorway. So I do like this one. Actually, I'm going to leave this one off for now because I'm going to show you the next one. And the next one is, I've titled it Blackouts and Bright Lights. And this was a test knit that I did for a designer, Alice Senko. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. And so I did this back in the fall of 2015, I think it was then. And I saw it, I loved it, and decided that I wanted to make it for Isaac, who was for his 14th birthday. And I needed to make it a little bit more masculine. So when I talked to Alla about some of the changes I was going to make, because she knew it was going to be for a 14-year-old boy, she was happy that to let me do those changes. And but I really love this pattern. It was kind of fun. I've got to make another one day for me. But the one thing so this is, as I said, bright lights. Blackouts and bright lights. And I'll tell you why I named it that in a moment, but it is an asymmetrical triangular shawl, and it's been worn a lot by Isaac. He does enjoy wearing it, and I'm going to wear it now. And sort of a fun, just a very simple pattern. It's got the lace on the edging here. So the colors that I've used, the black, and they're both Madeline Tosh Merino Light, so Tosh Merino Light, and the black one is Thunderstorm, and the colorful one, and I have to say this is one of my favorite yarns that I've ever worked with. It was called Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it was a Jimmy Beans special colorway, and just as I was knitting, I would get, the red and the pink and the purple and the blue, and it was just a joyful knit, like just completely. I was so happy as I was in the colored section, just so amazing to just every time you get to the next little color, just such joy. So I really should steal this from him, but he does wear it. So if he didn't wear it, it would be mine. I did find a little pull in it earlier today before I showed it, so I sort of fixed that. So there's a bit of a gap somewhere in the black part, so because I didn't want to have him pull it and then rip it, and then it'd be a real fixer-upper. But I do love this. So Blackouts and Bright Lights, Alisenko, she's Alnita on Ravelry, and I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I wanted to say about this one. So other than the reason I came up with the name. So my son Isaac, he auditioned for a local art school in Toronto, and his song that he sang was Any Dream Will Do from Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. So amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So when I saw this colorway, he said, "Oh, buy that, Mom, and you have to make me something with it." So we went to UNIT in Toronto to find another color that would go with the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and the best one we found was Thunderstorm. And I'm just so pleased with this that I'm going to wear it the rest of the podcast. So that's the story behind this one. So there's 4 of the shawls that I have made and that I've enjoyed. And now I'm going to move on to a segment I would like to call brown paper packages. And these are things that have mostly arrived in the mail. They're going to be really crinkly because I don't want to take them out of the bags. But I do have some lovely yarn that I purchased from Nora George when she just switched from Etsy to her own shop. And they are so lovely. So I'm going to share those now. And the first one I'm going to share, and sorry, it's going to be crinkly, is Spring. So this is the Super Sock, and comes with a little mini, so just lovely little white with green speckles and blue speckles. I think there's even some pink in there. And I know when I opened the Molly Weasley last week, how surprised I was that there were other colors, like just that I hadn't expected inside. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else is going to be in here. So this is Spring, and put that over there. So the next one I'm going to show you is macaron. Lovely little meringue candy type of cookie things. So macaron, and again, all of the ones I'm going to show you are this sock, super sock. So it's a 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon, and that's the exact same yarn I used here, and just amazing to work with. I'm surprised there's no cashmere in it. It's just so soft. So so fun little spots of pink, and I love the color. I think what really sold me on this little bits of yellow too. What really sold me on this color, because I was sort of debating, was the mini. I love that beautiful sort of blush pink in the mini. So, and the next one, oh my gosh, they're all so pretty. I'm going to have a hard time showing you. So this one is Apple Blossom, and just I love that nice fresh springy green. And inside, over on the sides, there's little bits of speckles in pink and yellow, and then a lovely pink mini as well. So that's Apple Blossom. Again, super soft. And which one? This one. Gorgeousness. This is Toffee Apple, and this bright chartreuse green I love. I always love it. So I just don't, it's one of those, I should take it out of the package, but I just love, I just want to keep it fresh and in the package. So crinkle away. But yeah, so that was one of the ones I got. And then the last one I got, because I was a bit of a yarn pig, and I got 5 altogether, was Lily. And Lily is so beautiful. Last week I showed, oh my gosh, my brain has stopped. Last week I showed wood. Last week I showed one, and it was really beautiful as well. And this one's very similar but different. So really quite pleased. So there is Lily and lovely hot pink one there, and because I don't want it to drive you completely nuts, here's the one from last week, the acorn wood. And so, as I said, similar but different. So I shall have fun. One will maybe be socks, and the other one will be a shawl. So those are most of my acquisitions. I have one more thing that I purchased this week, and I actually went to the Purple Pearl. I wanted to buy some soak. I've been wanting to get the Pineapple Grove for a few weeks now, but I just haven't made it to the store, and so I phoned from work on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon and said, do you have this in stock? And they said, yes, we have one left. So I said, oh, please hold it. I'll be there in a half an hour. And so then they were able to put it on hold for me. And so I got some Pineapple Grove soak. So, and while I was there, I happened to see this fun shawl pin right there. And so it's kind of a fun, an S right there. And so I guess just, I don't want to do it now when I'm not paying attention properly. So anyway, so kind of a fun little one. And I think I mentioned last week when I showed my Slytherin yarn that, you know, when I found out because I was put in the Slytherin house on Pottermore, and when I found that out, you know, I'm trying to embrace the snake. So I was showing this to Sarah on Instagram, and Sarah is Cauldron of Colors, and Sarah has just opened a yarn shop, and so we were talking about the houses and everything, and so she said, well, how did you find out? And so she went to Pottermore, and it turns out that she was a Slytherin as well. So, you know, of course, that was kind of exciting. Someone else is a Slytherin, and because she liked this because it was an S, and S is for Sarah. But then when she found out she was a Slytherin, you know, she was even more excited. So I might have to stop by and pick up another one and send it your way, Sarah. But anyway, it was kind of funny because I said to her, just embrace the snake. And so Sarah, in her yarn dyeing magic, has created a colorway called Embrace the Snake. And so it was kind of fun to have a colorway named after something I had said to her. So thanks, Sarah, that was fun. I will be getting a skein of Invictus, which I ordered from her earlier this week. And on Instagram, I declared myself on a yarn diet. I've not been doing very well. Anyway, so I did break my yarn diet a little bit and purchased the Invictus because it was really, really just, I think it's like a teal with a shot of purple, really beautiful. And so that's on her Etsy shop, Cauldron of Colors. So I think I got the only skein, but I'm sure it's one, I think it's going to be a repeatable colorway. So really, really pretty. And I believe, and it's Sarah is Angel66 on Ravelry as well. So Cauldron of Colors on Instagram and in her Etsy shop, and Angel66 in Ravelry. We've been talking since the summertime, and she was saying that she was going to be getting into some yarn dyeing. So good luck with that, Sarah, and I'm looking forward to getting my Invictus in the next few days, hopefully. I think our mailman has been, I don't know, our regular one has been on holiday, and I've been expecting a few different packages, and they haven't been coming, so I'm not really sure whether Canada Post hasn't filled the holiday position or what. I was expecting at least to have something else other than my Nora George, which I'm happy to show you, but I was expecting a couple of other things that I had ordered a while back, and I'm still sort of waiting on. So not sure what's happening. Usually Canada Post is really, really good, so I'm surprised that there wasn't as much as I would have liked in the mail. So, but those are the brown paper packages, and then of course the brown paper bag from Purple Pearl that I picked up the other day. I think that's all I have to share with you today. I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy this episode, and I hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope that maybe you'll come back again and visit me on the comfy red couch. I'm going to get my favorite tea mug, which has cold tea in it, and have a nice sip in a few minutes. This is one of my favorite mugs. It's from Disney World, and it's the Haunted Mansion wallpaper. My son Isaac likes to wear neckties, and so he has the tie in this as well. So this is one of my favorites. And at the bottom of the mug, when it's all finished, it will say, "Hurry back." I am trying to cut back on my tea consumption, so I've been drinking 1 cup of tea only. Yes, it's a big cup, but I try to drink it earlier in the day, and then at nighttime I'm trying to drink non-caffeinated stuff so that I'm sleeping better. So anyway, I'm happy that you came to join me today, and as I said, I am Tracy RR on Ravelry, and on Instagram I am Comfy Red Couch, and on YouTube I'm the Comfy Red Couch. So thanks for coming to visit me today, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great week. Bye. Oops. Turn back on again.